My brothers and sisters, may the Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. Herod was the one who had John the Baptist arrested and bound in prison on account of Herodias, the wife of his brother Philip, whom he had married. John had said to Herod, "It is not lawful for you to have your brother's wife." Herodias harbored a grudge against him and wanted to kill him, but wasn't able to do so. Herod feared John, knowing him to be a righteous and holy man, and kept him in custody. When he heard him speak, he was very much perplexed, yet he liked to listen to him. She had an opportunity one day when Herod, on his birthday, gave a banquet for his courtiers, his military officers, and the leading men of Galilee. Herodias, his own daughter, came in and performed a dance that delighted Herod and his guests. The king said to the girl, "Ask of me whatever you wish, and I will grant it to you." He even swore many things to her. "I will grant you whatever you ask of me, even to half of my kingdom." She went out and said to her mother, "What shall I ask for?" She replied, "The head of John the Baptist." The girl hurried back to the king's presence and made her request. "I want you to give me at once on a platter the head of John the Baptist." The king was deeply distressed, but because of his oaths and the guests, he did not wish to break his word to her. So he promptly dispatched an executioner with orders to bring back his head. He went off and beheaded him in the prison. He brought in the head on a platter and gave it to the girl, and the girl in turn gave it to her mother. When his disciples heard about it, they came and took his body and laid it in a tomb. The Gospel of the Lord. The Gospel today from Mark gives us a very powerful story about the human condition and the things that can control our emotions and our actions. We meet three people, essentially: John the Baptist, Herod, and Herodias, actually four when you talk about the daughter as well. In each instance, they are all impacted by the message kind of behind the scenes that Jesus presents. John, of course, is totally attuned to it and accepts it and ends up being the great witness to it. And being a witness to that message means to be consistent. He also has to be true to the truth and to justice. And so he raises issue with Herod over the fact that he has taken his brother Philip's wife Herodias for his own. Herod doesn't like what he hears, but even more so, Herodias doesn't like what she hears. And she wants to get even by having John the Baptist killed. And yet, interestingly and very sadly, Herod is sort of taken by John the Baptist. We're told that he liked to listen to him. He was puzzled by what he had to say, but he found something very important and very strong about the words that he spoke. We find a little bit later in the gospel text that it was essentially the same thing with regard to Jesus. There was this little element, this little glimmer, if you will, of truth that existed in Herod. But unfortunately, he allowed the rest of his personality and the people around him to control it, so that it never really came to full fruition. And so when Herod's daughter goes back to the mother to find out what she should ask for, the mother, of course, sees this as the moment to get even. "I want the head of John the Baptist." I'm talking about a cold, calculating woman. And of course, the daughter is just as bad in the sense that she didn't stand her ground. She just said what the mother wanted and said to Herod in turn, that's what she should be receiving. And of course, Herod at that point again gives in to his weakness. He's concerned about being politically correct. He's given an oath. He's told all these people and witnessed to them that he would give her anything that she wanted. And even though he had this feeling that he did not want to kill John the Baptist, that moment again made him weaken to the degree that he gives in to what Herodias wants. This kind of issue of personality and how it affects our lives impacts all of us. We all sometimes get controlled by emotions that at the moment flare up, and after the fact we're sorry about what we might have said or what we've done. Sometimes we allow those particular emotions to so control us that they make us totally unreasonable or illogical about anything else. And so to all of that, of course, we are supposed to the best of our ability, attune ourselves again, just as John the Baptist ultimately did, to the message of truth, and at all cost to sustain and support that message of truth. We can't do it alone. We need God's grace to help us do that. And so we pray for that this day, as we remember with fondness the witness and example of that ultimate prophet of the Old Testament tradition, the one who was the preparer and the precursor for what would happen with the new John the Baptist.